Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Apyayantu mamangani Vakpranaschakshushrodram Atho balam Indriyani cha sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranamastu Anirakaranam me astu Tadatmani nirate Ya upanishatsu dharmaha Te mayi santu Te mayi santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Where were we? We were in the middle of the accomplishments. In fact, the class time ran out, but not Nārada's list of accomplishments. So let us read that part. Rigvedam Bhagavaha Adhyemi Yajurvedam Samavedam Atharvanam Chaturtham Itihasa Puranam Panchamam Vedanam Vedam Pitriyam Rashim Daivam Nidhim Vako Vakyam Ekayanam Deva Vidyam Brahma Vidyam Bhuta Vidyam Kshatra Vidyam Nakshatra Vidyam Sarpa Devajana Vidyam Etad Bhagavaha Adhyemi. Lots of things he knows. Adhyemi means, Adhyemi doesn't just mean I'm a student and I study this and I know. Adhyemi means you can ask me a question anywhere from any part of the book. Instant quiz. And then what will I do? I will be able to reproduce whatever you want. That's what Adi Shankara describes the word adhyemi as the one who has like a, total recall, is able to recall. Smarami. Adhyemi means smarami. As I said yesterday, adhihi means madartham smara. Tell me, show me how it was. Recall for me. So here also it is the thing of recall, recalling. And so, very interesting. So what does he say? Then he says the following. He says, 4 Vedas gone. Then all of them I not only have studied, but you can ask me from any page, anyhow, anytime, and I will give you that particular citation with the name of the mantra, the number of the mantra. I am a walking concordance. And he is not saying this out of a certain pride. Let's remember that the Guru asked him to say, please tell me what you know. So this is not an expression of I know this, I know that. No. He is just repeating what the Guru told him to do. Guru said, tell me what you know so that we can pick up from where you know, because you seem to be very erudite. So tell me what you know and then I'll decide where to teach from. So he is just listing 4 Vedas and then Itihasa Purana Panchamam. Panchamam means the Mahabharata is often known as the 5th Veda. Then Vedanam Vedam means the Veda of the Vedas. What is that? Grammar. Because of the grammar I know the meaning. I know the tenses without getting tense. And I know the connections between subject, object, verb, etc. I can understand the meanings of the words because of this grammar. So I know grammar. What else do you know? Pitriyam, the art of funerary rites. Shraddha Kalpam. Pitriyam means Shraddha Kalpam, the art of funerary rites, the how to invoke ancestors, how to do this, how to do that, all kinds of things he knows. And then Rashim. Rashim means Ganit. Ganit means what? Rashi. What is that? Mathematics. Yes. Vedic mathematics. He knows all kinds of things, I know. And then after that, what is it? Nidhi. Daivam. Daivam, the science of omens. Very addictive it is, yeah. Because you can't look at the world without thinking whether it's good or bad or what's going to happen. You're in a perpetual sense of, what is that, anticipation. So then, the Rashim, Nidhim, and then what else? Then Vako Vakyam. What is Vako Vakyam? And Vako Vakyam means logic. It's a very big thing. In the Shastra, Tarka Shastra, logic. It is a subject that is studied completely and entirely just so that only when one has the ability to make logical arguments can one study so many disciplines of knowledge. So it is very much needed. Otherwise, we will have our own logic. What is our own logic? Our own logic is, my head is itching, therefore there is an elephant outside the room. What is the connection? There is none. Okay? This is what is called our own logic. So we have to have proper way of understanding. And in logic is taught things like Parvato Vanhiman. This is the conclusion. The mountain is on fire. How do you know? Did you come down from the mountain to tell me this? No. How do you know? Yes. Because I didn't go to the mountain. I didn't, much less I climbed the mountain or climbed it down. I neither ascended nor descended the mountain, but I just looked up and saw smoke billowing from the mountain. And when smoke billows from the mountain, the conclusion is what? There is fire. How? What is the connection? Isn't it the same like saying, my head is itching, therefore there is an elephant outside? No, there is actually a connection. Yatra yatra dhūmaha tatra tatra vanhihi. This is the conclusion. Wherever there is smoke, ... what is there? There is fire. What is the connection between smoke and fire? Because this is already observed. Where? Pakashalayam, in the kitchen. The cook is a pyromaniac and has had the dubious distinction of setting the kitchen on fire, and then one sees that there is smoke, and whenever there is smoke, it is a linga, an indication of the fire. This is logic. This is how it has to be understood. Can we reverse it? Wherever yatra yatra vanhihi tatra tatra dhūmaha, can we say? Ayyo, what happened? We were coming along so nicely. Can we say, wherever there is fire, there is smoke? No. It's all one way. That is the beauty of logic. We have to see which way it applies and which way it does not apply. Correct? And so, fire can be without smoke. Smoke cannot be without fire. So there is a postulate, there is a hypothesis, there is vyapti. Vyapti means a conclusion that has to, that is vishvato mukha. Vishvato mukha means not just applicable in one situation. It should be applicable in the kitchen, it should be applicable on the mountain, it should be applicable somewhere else, in some other planet also. The same rule must be applicable. So the science of logic, vakoha vakam. And then, next one, what else does he know? Ekayanam. Ekayanam means the, what is that? The niyamas. Niyama means niti shastra. Niti shastra means how to behave in certain situations. What to say? Oh, that's easy. I can talk all the time. When to say? Oh, even that is there. What to say? When to say? What not to say? When not to say? All this is very important for everything. Starting with our interpersonal relationships. This is what is extremely important. And so Niti Shastra means how to behave under certain circumstances. Like for example, it is said that the sadhu, when the sadhu goes for lunch to somebody's house, and let's say all the members in the house are having a fight, then what is the sadhu supposed to do? Quietly leave. Because one is not allowed to engage, because if one remains there, one will immediately want to, what's the word for it, take sides, or even if one doesn't want to take sides, one will be dragged into taking sides. No, you are my Swami, come this side. One spouse says. The other spouse says, no, I met you first, you are my Swami. And so therefore, quietly slink away from there, push off. And this is all part of Niti Shastra. This is what is called here, Ekayanam. And then what else is there? Ekayanam Deva Vidyam. Deva Vidyam here means this philology. What is philology? The derivation of words, which in Sanskrit is extremely beautiful and extremely enjoyable because of the fact that the meaning of the word is embedded in the word itself. It's just very, very nice. The meaning of the word is embedded in the word. And so it is very enjoyable to parse and to see how these two words came together, how to make a compound. You can make new words on your own, which will not even be in the dictionary. It's just awesome. So Niruktam it is called. We have in fact a word by that, a book by that name written by the sage Yaska. It is the first thesaurus in world history. Synonyms are there, antonyms are there, derivations are there. That's how we know what all, how the words behave, how we can, look at them. And like the word for fire, anala, alam navidyate yasya. The one who does not know the meaning of the word enough is called fire. It will have one village for breakfast and then it doesn't say, no, I need to rest. It will have the next village for lunch if it is allowed to do so. So like this is very fascinating. So the derivation of words, how words gain their meaning, how all these formations take place, compounds, everything. So the nitty-gritty of grammar, that also he knows, that also he has studied. And then, wait a minute, what is the next word? Brahma Vidya. OMG, he knows Brahma Vidya. Then why is he here? Why is he asking for this knowledge? This knowledge is also called what? Brahma Vidya. Brahmano Vidya, the Vidya that pertains to and that reveals Brahman. He knows this already. He says, I know Brahma Vidya, but Adi Shankara says, tut, that is not how it is. Brahma Vidya here has a specific meaning only known to the people who have studied in the tradition. And what is that specific meaning? The Veda along with its 6 Angas. Angas means limbs, like affiliated sciences. So the 4 Vedas along with Shiksha, the art of pronunciation, Kalpa, rituals, Vyakarana, that was said separately but it's included here also. And then Nirukta, Chandas, Jyotisham, all put together in certain contexts is known as Brahma Vidya. Here the derivation is not Brahmanaha Vidya, it is Brahmanaha Vidya. The Brahmanasya Vidya, the Vidya or the knowledge that is practiced by the Brahmanas who keep chanting the Vedas and all these pronunciations, etc. This Brahmana means scholarly person. So it's a slightly different derivation, still Brahma Vidya, and then so he knows that, meaning just words and their meanings. Then Bhuta Vidya. What is Bhuta Vidya? Not ghosts, okay, yeah. Yeah, so physics and chemistry together. So like what is the mass, what is the volume, what is the makeup of certain elements. Bhuta means 5 elements. From there we have all the other elementals. He knows that also. He is very well rounded, very well studied. And then Kshatriya Vidya. Kshatriya Vidya means the art of archery and warfare in general. How to deploy astras and shastras. Shastra and astra mean the same things, weapons, but there is a slight distinction. Astra is that which you throw, like a grenade, hand grenade is thrown. Shastra is that which you hold in the hand and then release something else out of it, such as a bow, a gun, etc. So Astra Vidya I know, Shastra Vidya I know, and various formations, like the one in which Abhimanyu perished. What was that called? Chakra Vyuha. Vyuha means formations. Chakra Vyuha. All these formations, who knows? Me. I know the whole science of warfare. I know everything here connected to Kshatriya Vidya, practiced by the Kshatriyas. Then, of course, what rhymes with Kshatra is Nakshatra. Nakshatra Vidyamapi Adhyemi. Nakshatra Vidya is Jyotisham, astrology. Astrology in the olden times was astrology / astronomy. So the science of heavenly bodies, especially, and why should anybody study heavenly bodies? Especially as it pertains to my life. Saturn return. Why should it return? But it does. Relentlessly it does. So Saturn return and all these things one studies. One studies the effect of Jupiter. One studies the only planets that have a long revolution. That is what impacts Jupiter. And then what else? Then we also study the movement of Rahu, Ketu, shadow planets. They should be called shady planets. They make trouble. So shadow planets, shady planets, and so like this one studies, and one can therefore have something called parihara. Parihara means some kind of a, what's its name? Remedies, remedial measures one can take. One can give dhanam, one can give to people in need and come out of these kinds of situations, because these kinds of situations that affect one's life are usually because of karma. So I initiate new karma of giving and puja and yajna, so that the old karma is neutralized. It's like the COVID vaccine and its various boosters. Yeah, every six months you have to take one booster. Similarly here, old karmas are neutralized, and that is called Nakshatra Vidya. Then Sarpa Vidya. Sarpa Vidya means, there is in the, what is that called? In the horoscope. Okay, there is in every horoscope a kind of certain afflictions. One of the afflictions is called Sarpadosha. And what is this Sarpadosha? Kala Sarpadosha, Sarpadosha. Sarpadosha means that all the planets are there, flanked by, on the one side Rahu, the head of the snake, and the other side Ketu, the tail of the snake. And so Sarpadosha. It's a big thing, and there are remedial measures for that. And then there is a special yajna for that. So you make, you take some atta, some dough, and then make small snakes with the dough. Make it like in the shape of a snake and offer these 108 baby snakes, okay, yeah. It's not a rope snake, it's a dough snake. You offer it into the fire and say, may all, with the appropriate mantras, of course, you offer it into the fire, and what do you say? May all this be neutralized for me, whatever difficulties and obstacles I have. Very fascinating. And so, guess who knows about all this? Nārada. Sage Nārada knows all about this as well. And then what? Devajana Vidya. Devajana Vidya is very exciting because it is the arts and sciences and crafts are practiced by the celestials. Celestials means, like for example, we say music has come from the celestials, Gandharva Vidya. Music, dance, drawing, painting, perfumery. That also has come from the celestials. How to take the flowers found in nature, soak them in oil and extract their essence, their perfume. Then what else? Shilpakala. Shilpa means what? Sculpture. All this. And this is just a small list. And all this, guess who knows? Nārada. Now he needs a coffee break because he's been talking for 1.5 classes about what all he knows. Adhyemi. I am a student of all this. And then further he says, Soham Bhagavah Mantravit Eva Asmi Na Atmavit. Yeah, so he says, Soham. Soham is a holy word, correct? Yeah. Soham, or you can even say Saham. He I am, she I am. Meaning I'm one with the whole, one with Ishvara. So is it that Soham? No. It is mostly Soham. Yeah. I am this one who is kind of so in my own eyes. Otherwise, why would someone doggedly pursue all these things? So many things. If the satisfaction was found after studying Rig Veda, then one would not become Dvivedi, Trivedi, Chaturvedi, and then become an expert in Itihasa, Purana, then become an expert in all these bodies of knowledge. Even having gained all this expertise, he is very clear that there is no sense of fulfillment. I'm running from pillar to post. I'm just a wanting being. What am I wanting? Perhaps more accomplishments. Why? Because I don't feel okay with myself. I feel I lack something. I feel incomplete. I feel that I am not getting anywhere. And then I make a connection, a wrong connection. I'm not getting anywhere. Why? Because I don't know this. The more you know, the more you don't know. Or I should say, put it slightly differently, the more I know that I do not know. The more I know that there are more and more things that I do not know. And here, one more thing is very clear, because if Nārada is an example for all of us, it shows something very important. It's that the human being cannot brook ignorance. Not just self-ignorance, but ignorance of any kind. Well, then why do we say ignorance is bliss? Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance of ignorance, aha, bliss. If I don't know that I don't know, there is no manastapa, there is no agitation, there is no pain, there is no sorrow, there is, because I don't know. What do I not know? That I do not know, I do not know. But once I know that I do not know, I cannot stand myself. It could be a name of a restaurant, it could be a name of a movie. Immediately, out comes the phone. That's why it's called smartphone, because I have transferred my smartness onto it. And then I have to Google. And I won't rest till I know. One cannot brook ignorance. But here again, in Nārada, we see what we saw yesterday, what I talked about yesterday. Sadhana sadhya asambandha. The mismatch between the means and the ends. What is the end? A sense of satisfaction and contentment centered on the self. Meaning self-knowledge, that which is gained by self-knowledge. And what is he pursuing? Knowledge of everything except the self. That is why he keeps on studying, keeps on getting one degree after another, and then not finding what he seeks. So he says, Soham, Hoham, this is who I am. Mantravit asmi. I know the mantras. Like I said, I am a walking encyclopedia. I am a walking concordance of the Vedas. Ask me anything from anywhere and then I will just rattle it off to you. No problem, I have everything memorized. And then what he says, Mantravit eva asmi. The word eva means only. I am only a mantravit. I am only the one who knows the mantra. I know only the mantra. Means what? I don't know its purport. I may know the meaning of the words. Just like the translation of our closing mantra. What is the meaning of the translation of the closing mantra? That is whole, this is whole, etc., etc. I know the meaning. But what good does it do? Nothing. Mantravit eva asmi na atmavit. I know the mantras, but I don't know myself. This is a big leap. A leap that is called from mumukshutvam to jijñāsutvam. Mumukshutvam means being a seeker of freedom. Mumukshu. Who is the seeker of freedom? Don't say only the people in the hallowed halls of this auditorium. No. Who is a mumukshu? Everyone who is born is a mumukshu. Everyone feels, I need to get out of this place. I need to get out of this marriage. I need to get out of this life. I need to get out of this job. I need freedom because I am troubled by a sense of bondage. Everyone is a mumukshu. Which shows that being a mumukshu, one is struggling without a direction. Flailing and struggling without a direction. So the quantum leap that we see here at this point in the text is the leap from mumukshu to jijñāsu. What is jijñāsu? Seeker of knowledge. I have understood that my suffering is not because of what I don't have or what I have and what I need to get rid of. My suffering is due to what? Is due to not knowing something which is very important. I seem to be floundering. I seem to be just directionless. I seem to not know what is it that is really the matter. Perhaps instead of mastering the art of warfare, archery, celestials, perhaps I should look at myself. And in all these Vedas, Vedanta, whatever I have memorized and whose meaning somehow I know just by looking at the translation, I have missed a very important thing. Like that joke that Pujya Swamiji would always tell. Watson and Sherlock go camping, and then Sherlock is awakened in the middle of the night, shakes his camping partner awake. Watson, what do you see? And he goes on a big diatribe. Meteorologically speaking, I think it is about 2 a.m. The westward winds are approximately blowing at 5 miles an hour. The chance of rain is 5% tomorrow. so we can enjoy a hike. Astronomically speaking, the ascendant is in the sign of Leo. The pole star is to the right, pointing to the northern direction. And he goes on and on. Sherlock says, "Idiot, somebody has made off with our tent." The obvious is missed. And we become very eloquent, like dear Watson. We become very articulate in matters of anatma. That which is a glaring mistake is what is missed. It's a missed take. It's totally missed. And so too here. He says, I know so many things. But they are what? They are just the decor. They are little frills and baubles, shiny things, trinkets, dressing material. But for who? For what? That is what I don't know. There is a big blank. Mantravideva asmi, na atmavit. I do not know the I. This is a very big moment of realization in the life of a mumukshu who is turning into jignasu. Often one comes to the teaching because the world is insufferable. I hate everyone. Everyone? Yes. An unequivocal yes. This one is mean to me. That one was upsetting me. Because of this one I cannot concentrate. That one is out to get me. This one is above me. That one is below me. This one is a thorn on this side. That one is a thorn on that side. Etc., etc., etc. On and go, on and on and on and on and on. The list goes and grows and goes and grows. Keeps on growing. What can I do? I am a hapless, helpless victim of circumstances. I do not know how to protect myself from the onslaught of, as Hamlet said, outrageous fortune. Do I chalk it up to fortune, karma? What is it that I have to do? How is it that I have to come out of this situation? I have looked at everything. I have looked at my life astronomically, astrologically. I have looked at it socially. I have looked at it psychologically, so many ways. I have looked at everybody. What is missing? I have not looked at it adhyatma. I have not looked at why is it that so many things every day in my life keep bothering me. That I have not seen. Busy I have been, like Watson, looking at all these various phenomena in the world. But the one that is experiencing these phenomena is missing in my equation. There is a big gap. And here, Nārada, blessed as he is, with Bhagavad Anugraha. Anugraha means grace. Some grace has to operate over time to see that I have to look within. Nobody can make me feel better. Nobody can validate me to the point that I stop getting depressed and stop getting upset with myself. Nobody can hold me and keep on telling me I am smart, I am wonderful, I am great, I am the best, east or west. Even if I pay them to tell me, nobody will tell me that. Why? Because they want to hear that too. That's why. Nobody, and even if, let's say, we just conjured up a genie from, rubbing the, what do you rub? Bottle, no, bottle you don't rub, lamp. Yes, you have to keep the metaphors correctly. So you rub the lamp, out comes a genie. What do you say? Make me feel better. Now, you are the best. You are wonderful. After a while you get bored of him. You say, go back into the lamp. Close. Why? Because you don't believe. Why don't you believe? Because I don't believe myself. Why am I going to believe somebody else who is telling me I am glorious when I am not in touch with that glory which belongs to me? This is the problem. Always looking outside, always outwardly oriented, outwardly focused. When the problem is where? That I cannot accept myself. That is the problem. Self-acceptance is the problem. Self-judgment is the problem. Self-critique is the problem. And yet it is easier, by far, to fall into the Watson's worldview and look everywhere else except at the most obvious, glaring truth. That which is okay is appearing to be not okay. What is that? Myself. And therefore I need instruction. Why? I have tried every which way. I have tried going the way of Bhuta Vidya. I have learnt dance, cha-cha-cha. And then what else? I have learned music. I have learnt astronomy, astrology. I have gone here, gone there, done this, done that. Nothing suffices. And finally, when all avenues have been exhausted, all avenues of research have been exhausted, I finally present myself in front of the teacher and say, what? Let's go out for coffee. No, wrong. I present myself in front of the teacher and say, please teach me. Here is a desperate one wanting knowledge. Not wanting to be lifted up. Nobody can do that. Not wanting to, be attended to. Feel good. Feel good means what? How long will you feel good? 5 minutes. That's it. This I have to recognize. This Nārada has recognized. And this is a very beautiful moment. And symbolically, we have a very nice thing in India. You see, the river flows. The river goes from the heights of the mountains and then flows, makes its way to the ocean. Sometimes as it makes its way to the ocean, it may find some obstacle and it appears to be turning towards its source. That place becomes a place of pilgrimage. And we worship that point where the river turns into its source, back to its source. We pray to the mother in the form of the river. We pray to the goddess, give me this viveka, give me this discrimination, give me the courage to turn back to my source. Fall back onto myself rather than just look outside to gaining what is my own legacy to be discovered. So very beautiful and bright moment in the text with Nārada coming to this epiphany. Nārātmavit. But then why are you here? If you are not Atmavit, what do you want? And so he tells the Guru. What does he say? Shrutam hi eva me bhagavat sadrishebhyah tarati śokam atmavit iti. So he says, I'm here because along with all my pursuits, as I was gaining Shastra Vidya, Nakshatra Vidya, Bhuta Vidya, Deva Vidya, Devajana Vidya, Sarpa Vidya, this Vidya, that Vidya, as I was gaining all these bodies of knowledge, somewhere a sentence wafted into my ears, and at that time, ill-prepared as I was, with all the accoutrements that are needed for this knowledge, I just let that go. I heard this sentence, Bhagavat Sadrishebhyah, from some revered person such as yourself. Some sadhu somewhere I encountered in my life when I was engaged in the frenetic pursuits of everything anatma, everything not I perhaps encountered somebody. Ashamed am I to say, I do not know their name, I do not know where, I do not know the circumstances, but what they said, which wafted into my ears, I still am agitating with that thought. And so what did you hear from somebody like myself? If Sanatkumāra were to ask, Nārada would say, and he does say, tarati śokamātmavit. Tarati, through, to swim, to cross. Śokam. Śokam means sorrow, sadness. Who, the knower of the I, crosses sorrow. Again, as we saw in one of the questions in the satsang last night, crosses doesn't mean, does not master. It is a mastery. It is overcoming sorrow. But it is nice, it is a poetic way of describing the crossing. It's just like samsara is an ocean. Even though it's really what? A notion, it presents itself to the ignorant one as an ocean. Insurmountable. And so therefore what? The one who crosses, so there is a kind of a poetic way in which you can say, I'm crossing this ocean. Ocean means huge. Can't even see across to the other shore. So somewhere, somehow, I have heard this, I have seen this, I have understood this, that I'm missing. This is what I'm missing. Something somebody said, some revered person, some sadhu somewhere said, tarati śokamātmavit, the knower of the self crosses all sorrow, leaves the sorrow behind, goes to the other side of sorrow. This is what I have understood. And then what? If this is what I have understood, then I should have pursued it. But alas, I was busy. I was busy pursuing everything else except this. And so therefore, I just let this go. But now I need to know. Why? Because further he says, Soham Bhagavah Śocāmi. So sad. Soham Bhagavah. Soham means, not Soham. Soham means, this is who I am. This much alone. Identified with all that I know. And for that matter, identified with all that I do not know. This is who I am. This is my sad self. Soham means all this. This is my sad self that I am presenting in front of you. I am sorrow personified. Śocāmi. Present tense means always. Now what are you doing? Śocāmi. And now śocāmi. Now śocāmi. 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 Śoka is my life. It is It is a series of one shoka after another shoka, which leads me to be what? In shoka all the time. Shoka, 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 shoka. Shochami. Soham bhagavah shochami. Sad I am. Enmeshed in this sadness, identified with this sadness. Sad indeed am I. And then what to do? Shokasya param. Okay, let's read, okay? Yeah. So, Shokasya param tarayatu iti tam hovacha yadvai kincha etat adhyagishtaha Nama eva etat. So, he says, Shokasya param tarayatu iti. Iti means quotation marks. Iti means, okay, it is the direct speech has ended there. Thus, Shokasya param, beyond the ocean of sorrow. Param means on the other side. Tarayatu, make me cross, help me cross. How? Jnana udupena. Adi Shankara supplies in the Bhashya, very beautiful. After making for me a little boat of knowledge, udupa, boat. Jnana udupa, a boat strung together, nicely handcrafted boat made of the pieces of Mahavakya. All the Mahavakyas nailed together, everything with Shraddha, everything, all the things that we need to know. See, the Mahavakya will speak only when all the other accoutrements are there. I have to have the right attitude towards the Shastra. I have to have Shraddha. I have to have reverence for the teaching and the source of the teaching, the Shastra. I have to have a mind that is not always reacting to everything that I hear. I have to enjoy certain calmness. These are the nails. Why are they the nails? Because of which I nailed the Mahavakya. That's why they are nails. So they are the ones that hold and unfold the Mahavakya. Make me a boat, O Lord, O Guru. Make me a boat of the truth, strung together by the words, by the vision of the truth of myself, sitting in which I am protected by the horrible winds, the waves, the tsunamis, the undercurrents, the fears and the tears of being adrift in this ocean without a GPS. What is GPS? Guru Paduka Stotram. Okay, yeah. So, I'm adrift, totally adrift. And so, make me a boat, make me a raft, strung together with my own Shraddha. So the Mahavakya unfolds like a security blanket and wraps me up whenever I am frightened, whenever I am in sorrow. Mahavakya means the vision of oneness between the hapless, hopeless, helpless I and Ishvara. Glorious Ishvara, which is what? Consciousness, the truth of myself. Reveal this to me. Shroud me from the difficulties of this everyday and from mistaking myself to be just a compendium of the body, the mind and the senses. Protect me, O Hey Guru, from making me think that I am from my own thoughts. And what is that thought? From making me identify with my emotions. Oh, now angry. Oh, I am anger itself. Wrong. Now sad. I am sadness personified. Wrong. You are not sadness personified. The one who says I am sad is really saying I am the observer of sadness. The one who says I am angry is saying I am the observer of anger. But when the observer is not caught onto, then the waves of sorrow are overwhelming and I am adrift. I am drowning in the plethora of my own tears. Teach me how not to do that. Teach me to cross this. And then how will the Guru teach? Through the unfoldment of the truth of the self, the vision of the self that is free of pain, that is free of sorrow, that is free of delusion, that is free of all kinds of nonsense, to which one is attached. Why? It's a mistake. That's what it is. So make me a raft of knowledge. Choose the beautiful pieces of the Shastra in the form of various Mahavakyas. Tattvamasi, you are indeed that alone. Sarvam khalvidam Brahma, all that is here is verily Brahman alone. Tadjnanam Brahma, that awareness because of which you are aware of everything is Brahman alone. Free of guilt, free of hurt you are. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That Brahman which is you is that which is the source of all existence, the source of all sentience, and it is limitless, and because it is you, you also are what? Limitless. Make me a boat of this vision, enveloped by which I can be in any sea without being adrift. I can be anywhere. I can be even underwater without literally, without figuratively being underwater. So this is his beautiful entreaty. And then what? Sanatkumāra listens. Who is Sanatkumāra? The student, correct? No. Yeah. Instant Vedanta quiz. Just checking. The teacher listens. Tam hovacha. And the teacher says unto him. Whom? Nārada. The teacher says to the student. What does the teacher say? The teacher says, Yadvai, indeed, Yadvai kincha etad adhyagishtaha. Adhyagishtaha means that all that which you have studied, oh dear fellow, everything that you have studied, the list took 1 hour to unfold. Everything, this whole list of degrees that you have, are what? Are a lot. You know a lot. Oh Nārada, you know a lot of nothing. How much is a lot of nothing? A lot. Yeah. Nothing. If I know a little bit of nothing, how much is that? Nothing. You know a lot of nothing. What you know, I mean, he was politer than I am, so he didn't say quite like that. So he said, O Nārada, tvam yat adhyagishtaha, whatever you have studied, nama eva etat. It is just a name. It is a nomenclature. What do you know? A whole bunch of names. Rig Veda. What is the Rig Veda? It's a name. It's a word. It's a name. Yajur Veda. Name. Sama Veda. Another name. Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarna. Nirukta, Chandas, Jyotisham, Shastra Vidya, Nakshatra Vidya, Deva Vidya, Sarpa Vidya, Deva Jana Vidya, etc., etc. This Vidya, that Vidya, what Vidya, everything is what? Name. You know only the name, but not what? The content of the name. The name symbolizes what? That you do not know. Where do all the names go at night to rest? You don't know that abode. Where from do all these names originate? You don't know that either. By what are all these names sustained? That also, do you know? No, you do not know that. Yato va imani bhutani jayante ye na jatani jivanti yat prayantyabhisamvishantiti tad vijijñāsasva tad brahmeti. Third chapter of the Taittiriya Upanishad. Tritiya Valli, Bhrigu Valli. Bhrigu, the son of Varuna. What was the father's name? Why it's taking so long? What's the father's name? I'm already telling you he's son of Varuna. Not fair. After giving the answer, still you're not able to say. Bhrigu, the son of Varuna, approaches his father. What was the name of the father? Varuna. Says, teach me Brahman. And then this is what Varuna tells his son. What was the son's name? Bhrigu. That because of which, that from which everything has originated, that by which all this is sustained, that unto which everything collapses, know that the name of that is Brahman. And in the ancient days, Vedanta classes were very simple. In the Upanishads, they were just one sentence long. So he would say this sentence and send him off to do some contemplation, send the student off to some contemplation. And then, of course, the student, being ignorant, would inevitably come with a wrong answer. That by which everything is sustained, that because of which everything is, and that which goes back to that thing. What is that? Food. This is the first answer he gives. Yes, it is because of the food. By food we all live, and by food we are sustained. Out of the food that our parents ate we are born, and then we go back to food. Buried, under the ground, etc. So one might be eating brinjals in the form of the great grandmother. One doesn't know. But the ancient way of teaching put the onus on the student to really just stay with it and to work with it. And so here also, the same method is going to be followed. The methodology that Bhrigu was shown by Varuna. Varuna's methodology given to Bhrigu is the same as Nārada, the methodology that Nārada has to undergo. And what is that, etc., we'll see tomorrow. And the rest of the classes today will be taken by Muktatmananda ji. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.